Good afternoon, Stoney Creek here. You're probably wondering why you're looking at a big old pile of deep litter. One of my previous videos talked about the deep litter method, and I did promise that I would show a video on how I did it. This is actually in the back of my six-wheeler here. This is what I pulled out today. You can see this is actually the last load. This is the third load, so this would be on the bottom. You can see that this stuff is still dry. I'm not going to say what I do will work for everyone. It's probably not going to work in very cold regions, but here in Oklahoma, this is what works for me. Go in my coop here. Start out with, you can see the floor. It sounds pretty hollow in here with nothing in here. I'm showing you the floor because this is actually a wood floor. What I do is on all my wood floor coops, I actually put down a real cheap vinyl. Helps keep the water off the wood, keeps the floor a lot cleaner, a lot easier to take care of, keeps the moist, damp out of your floor, give you a good long life. All I do is throw in pine shavings, but before I do that, I have a couple of other things here. Here's a bucket of DE, diatomaceous earth. It's a good stuff for a mite preventative. If your birds have mites, you can certainly dust your birds with that. It's not going to hurt it at all, but it's not going to work as effectively and quickly as some of the other products. But putting DE down certainly will be a good preventative for mites. One of the other things that I use is Oxine. I use Oxine before I do everything here. Kind of zoom in on this product. This is a good disinfectant. If you look it up online, it's going to talk about using activation crystals and that sort of thing. You don't want to do that. That's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your birds. It tells you to use a respirator and that sort of thing. All I do is put Oxine in just a quart bottle of water and then spray everything down. I spray it down pretty liberally. I do that in the nest boxes and everything. If you read the instructions, it's going to tell you to put 6.5 ounces per gallon. This is a 1 gallon bottle. I've got 1 quart, so doing the quick math, okay, gallons, so I need 1/4 of 6.5, which actually comes up to 1.62 ounces. So what I actually do is, got just a small bottle there, 6.2 ounces. I'll open this up, pour it right in there. It's pre-mixed. Give it a good shake, and then we're ready to go. Okay, I've got my 1.62 ounces of Oxine mixed in my quart bottle here. What I'm going to do is spray down everything liberally. This Oxine is a good disinfectant, but it also helps prevent some of the airborne diseases that chickens might get, or some of your other poultry. I'm actually going to be real liberal inside the nest boxes. Every place that the birds are going to be, of course, getting all the roost. I have a lot of birds normally in here. They're kind of mad at me right now because I've got them outside. But I'm going to get everything. I'm going to get the walls. I'm going to get everything down on the floor. Certainly, like I say, get the nest boxes. But you want to be pretty thorough with this stuff. It's certainly not going to hurt you or hurt the birds to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, get everything sprayed down, and then we'll go into the next step. Okay, welcome back. Got the all the Oxine sprayed down on everything. I see some of my footprints in the floor where things are moist. Talk about DE a little bit. Of course, like I said, it's a good preventative. It will get mites off your birds. It just won't be as quick acting as something else. One of the things I want to, although I'm going to sprinkle it everywhere, but I want to point out, when you're doing your roost, my roosts have been sanded, so I know that I don't have splinters, but you want to be real liberal with the DE and try to push it into the grain of the wood. Why am I doing that? One of the first questions that you ask. Things like scaly leg mites will actually not only live in the scales of the birds, but a lot of times they'll live inside the wood themselves. So this way, the birds will roost on this. It helps prevent the scaly leg mites from migrating from either the wood or to the birds, or birds down to the wood. And it's also just another way to make sure that they're going to be sure to get that on them. When they roost, they're going to sit down, put their chest in the middle of this, and that'll help do any preventative there. One of the things I did forget to mention, when you're getting DE, you want to make sure that you get a food grade. You don't get the other stuff, but you certainly want to get a food grade. I'm also going to do the same thing just like I did with the roost. I'm going to put it in the nest boxes. I'm going to actually try to push it into the wood, into the grain. I know it's kind of dark in here. It is a chicken coop. I don't have lights out here. But be liberal with that. It's not going to hurt the birds. It's not going to hurt chicks if you've even got a broody, but what that will do is keep any of the body lice, scaly leg mites, anything, even fleas, anything like that. It's going to help prevent those. The way this stuff works, it's actually a microscopic shell that's been crushed down, so if you looked at it under a microscope, it'd have a bunch of sharp edges. It cuts the carapace of the different bugs, and it actually causes them to dehydrate and then die. That's how it affects them. It's not a poison. It's not going to hurt you or hurt the birds if you ingest any of it, but what it does is, like I say, it actually cuts into the carapace and it makes the bugs dehydrate, and that's how they end up dying. That's why it's not a fast process. If you've already got an infestation, you might look at something else to do a little bit quicker method up front, because it certainly does take a while. But if you've already got this on there, a bug will get on there and then decide that that's not a good place to live, and it's going to leave pretty quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, get everything DE'd in here, and then we'll look at the next steps. Well, we're back. You can see that I've got all the DE down. It looks like some bakers had a fight in here and flour everywhere. I've already put some pine shavings down in here. You want to be sure to use pine, not cedar. Cedar causes respiratory problems in poultry, most small mammals. What I'm going to do is spread this out. And let me also point out, I paid special attention into the corners. Get a lot of DE in the corners. Birds aren't going to get in there too often, so you want to have a good barrier there. But I'm going to spread these pine shavings out. At this point, here we are, it's 1st of August or so. I'm going to end up with about 2 inches of this stuff. Now with deep litter, the trick to this is add to, don't take away from. So here in a few months, I'll probably add a couple more bags, add a couple more bags. Every time I do that, by the time I get done, it's going to be about 8 inches in here. Every time I add, I'm going to put another layer of DE down. Every once in a while, I'm also going to put scratch grains down to have the chickens work for me. They're going to go in there, they'll scratch up that litter, get everything turned around, that'll aerate everything. Get everything turned, the new and the old all swapped out, and it stays pretty dry in here. As far as chicken coops go, it's pretty smelly free doing that. If you did have a lot of wet somewhere, of course that's going to mold, it's going to mildew, that's where your wet poop, that's what's going to cause all your smells. But as long as you keep it aerated and let the chickens do the work for you, have them scratch it up and till it for you, you're not going to have any problems. One of the things, I do have a window here, so I've got to watch for a little bit of wet underneath the window. Over here is where I've got my pop door. You can see I've got hens waiting to come in. That's another area that gets a little bit damp at times, but other than that, the rest of the coop stays pretty dry, stays pretty, like I say, smell-free, as long as you do just the routine maintenance on it. And then come April or May, whatever works best for you, just scoop it all out, put it in your compost, wait another few months, throw it right on your garden. It's ready to go. Hope you've enjoyed this, and stay tuned. If you want to follow me on Facebook, look up Stoney Creek Heritage Farm. I've got a page there. More than welcome to give that a like, and hopefully you find some more poultry hens. Take care now.